Okay, so welcome to chapter 1 of Sumer. You can sit back and relax, and I'm going to read all of chapter 1 for you. Okay, so here we go. Chapter 1. Life on Sumer. Butterflies had been introduced to the colony recently. This was the first time that Octai had seen one, perched on a twig, silently fluttering its wings. Half an hour before, Octai was playing football with his friends in the small park that was situated behind his house, close to the chief energy facility. His mother didn't like him playing near the energy facility. She always moaned about how dangerous it was and how the cyborgs that protected the perimeter fence might hurt him. It was ridiculous. Like all robots in the Sumer colony, they were programmed to protect humans, not to injure them. Still, Octai's parents always became cross if they knew he played in the park. A little while earlier, Bora, Octai's closest friend, had kicked the football high into the tree, where the ball got stuck in the branches. Both boys had struggled to climb the tree to release the ball. Bora had quickly become bored and gone home. Octai tried over and over to reach the ball, but he couldn't manage to do it. He climbed about 3 meters up, but the ball was out of reach. Frustrated, Octai slowly climbed down the tree. It was then that he saw the magnificent butterfly. Octai forgot about the ball and instead focused his attention on the beautiful, fragile insect. He loved insects and plants. In fact, when he grew up, he wanted to become an entomologist or a botanist. In the colony, there were only 2 places where Octai wanted to work: the frozen zoo or the seed vault. These were the places where the scientists brought the Earth species back to life. The scientists were even able to bring back extinct species. Octai knew that over hundreds and hundreds of years, the scientists were releasing species into the colony, species that formerly existed on Earth. Now, of course, no one lived on Earth. In fact, Bora told him that no one had lived on Earth for nearly 500 years. Apparently, there had been a catastrophe. Global warming made people fight over water and natural resources. Humans had to leave Earth permanently and find somewhere else to live. Bora's dad had told him the history. Humans had now settled on more than 20 planets in the Milky Way, but their original home, Earth, was uninhabitable, polluted, destroyed. So scientists always had a vital mission in the colony. It was their job to reintroduce Earth species. At first, the botanists and scientists concentrated on the species that humans needed most, the species that humans needed to survive, vegetables and certain trees that humans needed for food and wood. In the first 50 years of the Sumer colony, Bora said that only farm animals were introduced: cows, sheep, goats. Species that provided both food and shelter for the colonizers, the first people who came to the Sumer colony in 2745 Earth time. Now, 200 years later, thousands of species had been introduced. Bora's dad said that fish had been hard for the scientists to clone. But now the colony's oceans and seas were brimming with fish, sharks, and other sea creatures. Recently, bees had been successfully cloned, and butterflies too. Most astonishingly, species extinct on Earth for hundreds of years were coming back to life. Bora and Octai had heard about some crazy reptiles called dinosaurs that became extinct millions of years ago. They wondered if the colony's scientists would ever bring the Brontosaurus or Triceratops back to life. Octai just stared at the butterfly. If Bora had been here, he would have helped him capture it. Now, Octai would have to do it alone. Actually, it wasn't difficult to catch a butterfly if you had a net. Most flying insects moved quickly, but butterflies fluttered about, and if you worked swiftly, you could trap them. Octai remained incredibly still. Not a sound, not a movement. The butterfly had bluish-purplish wings. It didn't seem to know that Octai was there at all. Octai wasn't sure what to do. If he moved, the butterfly would take off. Not fast, but higher than Octai would be able to reach. Then, out of the corner of his eye, Octai saw Bora. Silently, without saying a word, he motioned to Bora. When Bora understood what Octai wanted, he quickly ran back to his house, collected the net, and returned. 10 minutes later, the boys were sitting, smiling on the grass, the butterfly trapped in the net. They laughed about how they would catch a Tyrannosaurus Rex if the scientists ever cloned them. The sun was slowly setting. The shadow of the energy facility's tallest edifice crept over the boys. The temperature was starting to drop quickly. Bora stood up and aimed his E6 at the butterfly. A red beam shot out of the device around his wrist and moved up and down the butterfly a couple of times, scanning it. The red light extinguished. Bora looked at the E6 screen, which was flashing with loads of information. So, it's a Xerces blue butterfly, he informed Octai. And according to the E6, this species of butterfly became extinct on Earth in 1943 Earth time. It used to live in California. The frozen zoo reintroduced them just 2 months ago. Where's that? Octai asked, confused. It says that California was part of a country called the United States of America. Yeah, I've heard of it. It's one of those countries that helped build the early spacecraft during the Exodus. Bora changed the topic a little. Imagine, the Xerces blue butterfly was extinct for a millennium. What? 1,000 years. Man, we must be the first people to see it. There can't be many of them yet if the frozen zoo just cloned them. The sun was touching the horizon, and as always, the temperature was dropping dramatically. I'm heading home, Bora shivered, folding his arms around his chest to stay warm. Okay, well, let's release the Xerces blue again. Oh wait, can we keep her? Octai queried. Bora looked down at his E6 again. He scanned the information until he found what he was looking for. Nope, the Xerces blue is a protected species. Guess we'll have to wait a while. Octai picked up the net by the handle and gently unwound it so the butterfly could escape. At first the little creature didn't move, but Bora gave it the tiniest nudge and slowly it found its freedom again. The boys rushed home. Running down the hill towards their houses, they heard the night alarm, a great booming sound that went straight into their brains. Why hadn't they left earlier? The snap was about to start, and they would die if they got caught in it. Without saying goodbye, Bora and Octai parted ways and sprinted to their apartment elevators as fast as they could. Okay, so that's the end of chapter 1. You can listen to it again and again, maybe look up some of those words that you didn't understand, and hopefully I'll see you for chapter 2 very soon. Thanks for joining us.